All right, I'm really, really excited to talk today, guys, because it has been a wild day. And like when I say wild, I mean nothing happened at all. Like we did nothing today, or I did nothing today, but it was all inside. It was all here. And and dude, like I felt the Spirit of God so heavy today, and he was speaking to me so much. I mean, there's times where I have gone along like weeks without like necessarily hearing something specific, that God has to teach me or learning something. And usually it's, stuff that happens to me day in and day out that we talk about, and also the stuff that's in the text that we read through during the times that we read through the text that we chose. But today has been just very, very spirit-filled, and I can say with certainty today, I can look you in the face today and tell you with certainty that whatever I went through these past 4 or 5 years that have developed me into this place has been to tell you guys about God, and God has a message for you, and he wanted to use me to speak to you today. And that's why I've been through all the things that I've been through, and that's why all the things that have happened, because God wanted you to hear something, and he used my surroundings and my environment to shape me into the place that he wanted to go. Because I told him, I said, God, use me. I will let you use me. I'll do whatever you say. Just get me going. And he put me here. And I can say with 100% clarity, like right now, this message is for you, whoever's listening, even if it's just one person that is affected by this, that can hear this, that listens to this. I will speak to that one person. And I'll go ahead and tell you everything that I'm talking about. And it might make sense since I came on here so excited. But in all seriousness, I learned a lesson today, and today I learned a lesson, and here's a predisposition. Here's a statement that I'm going to make on the front end so that you won't hold this against me. I'm not saying that it's okay for you to do whatever you want and use God's grace as a way to get away with it. And so that's where we're starting with this. But I messed up, and I messed up big time. I did something that I'm trying to get away from doing, and I messed up, but it's crazy because it wasn't, God used something that was evil. God used something that was sinful. God used my mistake. God used something that was a failure of mine to bring me up, to bring a message to you guys. He used something that happened to me that should have been the end of me. That should have been it. I don't deserve another shot. I messed it up. But he's using me right now to tell you guys that just because you messed up doesn't mean it's over. Just because you don't understand how you're going to be able to go on because it doesn't make any sense, because you don't see any logical way out of it, it doesn't mean anything, because God is huge and God will work wonders. And he has actually taken something that was wrong and mistaken and misplaced, and he's turned it into something beautiful. And that's something that only God can do when you give yourself to him. And so I want to talk a little bit more about this, and this has to do a lot with the enemy too, a lot with the fact that there are evil things out there. There is evil out there. There are demonic spirits that haunt people inside of them, that they try for years and years to get rid of, and they don't shake, and they live with that. And it's demonic, and it's evil, and it oppresses them, and it chokes their spirit so that they're not happy, and they're anxious, and they're depressed, and they really can't even see clearly anymore from a spiritual and from a from a natural standpoint. Their vision gets blurred. because of the ongoing sin, the restraint of the ongoing sin on their soul. It burdens them to a point where they are changed as a person. Those are demonic spirits, and they are real, and they exist inside of more people than I'd like to admit. And believe it or not, we're all capable of having this spirit, and we have to work every single day to fill ourselves up with Jesus so that we don't fall into the hands of the enemy, so that we are not being complacent at a time where we need to be moving, so that the enemy has no chance to grab us and attack us. And that's what we're constantly working towards when we're reading these Bibles and we're having these talks every single day, and you guys are going out there and you're praying and you're doing what we're talking about in here. And if you're not, I've got good news for you. You can start right now. It doesn't sound good, but it is. And the more and more you do it, the better it's going to sound to you, because you're going to hear what I'm saying to you, and you're going to use it as a reminder to fill your soul up with truth, with the truth that even when you do mess up, it doesn't mean it's over for you. And even when you mess up, you can remember that it's not about being perfect. You're serving a God who's perfect, and you will never be. And He told us directly to us, this is the gift. This is the gospel. I'm telling you right now, this is the gospel. God gave us this gift that sets us free. It allows us to work towards something. And when we mess up, it allows us to get back up with no punishment or penance required. Now, when I say that, I mean from Him. There's other people you have to deal with. If you wrong somebody, you're naturally going to have to deal with them. You're going to have to deal with the consequences of your action. Not only from God, but also from human beings. But if you get yourself squared away with God, and not to position yourself in a way that looks good, but to position your heart in a way that is good. And the only way that something can be good, the only way that something is pure in the sense, in the form that I'm speaking about, is when it has to do with your relationship with God. That's all that matters. Nothing else really matters as far as the biggest picture. Now, everything does matter, but relatively, the biggest ring on the outside of the ripple is God. It doesn't get any bigger than that. And so when you put your priority into that place, miraculous things happen. When you start to practice this stuff. And so why is it important for me to remind myself about this stuff? And why is it important for me to read it? Why is it important for me to know who Jesus is? Because when the enemy attacks me, and I guess it doesn't really matter if you're not a Christian and you're not pursuing this stuff, it wouldn't matter to you. But I can promise you, if you're going to tell me not to follow Jesus, then I would ask you, what would you rather me do? Because if you're going to go out there and sleep around and worry about getting pregnant and have to abort a baby and have the shame about aborting your child, like, I know the shame exists. I've spoken to multiple people who have aborted real babies, and they told me that there is real shame behind it. And so if you're going to tell me to go do that because you think it's better than me following Jesus, the one who loves other people and commanded us to love other people in the name of the God who created us, and to serve other people and not to be served, if He told us to do all this stuff to better us, and you're telling me not to follow Him because you think that it's better to do something else, I would say that's really, really, really bold of you to say, and really, really hurtful to me. It's not going to help me at all. But what I'm telling you right now might sound like something you've heard in the past. It might sound like something that has been spoken to you 100 times before, and it went in one ear and out the other because you've heard it too many times and you don't care about what they have to say because it's not resonating with you. But I'm telling you, if you keep walking in the way that you're walking, you're going to keep hurting yourself, and you're going to get sick of the hurt, and the hurt is going to make you sick, and it's going to be just like the demons, the demonic spirits that I just got done telling you about. Those will enter inside of you, and they will fill you with an aura, with an energy that is not where you want to be at. because your thoughts and everything will be consumed by whatever you're indulging yourself in that is not creating health for your body and your spirit. The only thing that's going to fix whatever problem you have is going to be relying on Jesus and His Spirit to fill you up. Because Jesus' Spirit takes you from a place of imagination and your wildest thoughts and you being not really certain about any of this stuff to the ground. I'm grounded. Okay, I've got a model to operate off of. There's a God. That's what I'm doing here. I can breathe, I can blink, I can smell. But what am I supposed to be doing? There's a God and He created me, so I can ask Him, God, what do you want me to be doing? You want me to love my neighbors and to cleanse my mind and to practice things that I know are good and pure and blameless and righteous before your eyes? Yeah, that's what He wants us to do, because we're going to become more like Him. We're going to be filled up with His Spirit. We're going to have more joy. We're going to have more life. Do you see the animation that's coming from me right now? This is not something that happens because I happen to hit a good mood today. This is something that happened because I messed up. I made a big mistake. And luckily nobody else was involved, so nobody else knows what I did. But I made a big mistake, and God chose to use me to speak to you today about it. And the only reason that I'm full of the Spirit right now is because I had to reason to myself that God is gracious. That is where faith comes in. He's not going to come down here every time that you need something like a bellhop and hand it to you. He gave you Jesus to work through this stuff. He gave you the Holy Spirit to fill you up and animate you and point you in the direction that He wants you to go and to give you that energy to actually fulfill it. And so when we use the tools that we're given, we can be successful. We can be joyful. We can overcome anything, even the lies of the enemy. Like I said, guys, there's somebody here lying to you. You have voices in your head that tell you things that aren't true. And it might as well be the same thing as you being in front of somebody who's telling you to do things and talking to you about things that aren't true. It might as well be the same thing, because you can still hear those voices inside your head. It might as well be the same thing. And so you have an enemy, whether he is present or not. He is real. And those lies that you hear in your head, they are lies. Braxton, you need to spend at least a few hours mourning over this thing that you've done, because if you don't, then you don't really believe. Those are the things that were presented to me when I was rationalizing and dealing with this stuff, feeling so guilty because I have to stand up here and talk to you guys about my faith and my walk with God. The thing that I want to give to you, the gift of God, the gospel, the good news that stuff's a lie and that we don't have to believe it when we mess up. Because God didn't say if you mess up 3 times you're out. God didn't say if you mess up 17 times you're out. God said if you put your faith in me and you walk in the way that I've asked you to walk, when you stumble, I'll pick you back up again. And that's where you ask yourself, am I really trying? And that's when you ask yourself, what's really going on here? And you're honest with yourself. You're truly honest with yourself. Because if we're just pretending to do this stuff, then it makes no difference. But if you can speak to God and you can speak to yourself and you can be honest to yourself and say, okay, I've been trying and I messed up. And then you use what we have, what we know to be true about God because of all the time that you're putting into this book. And if you're not putting in time, I have great news for you. You can start right now. Read the book of John right now. Learn who Jesus is. Learn what He says to do and start doing those things. I guarantee you could finish. And if you don't understand any of this stuff and you need a short read, you don't have time to read a whole book of the Bible at once, read read Ephesians. It is 6 chapters, and it will take you 25 minutes to read. And from that point, you can jump off. You could start right now if you're feeling like out of the box that I'm talking about. From inside, if you feel like an outsider, you can actually open up your Bible right now. If you don't have a Bible, there's an app that you can get on your phone. It's called the Bible app. Look, it's a great resource. Go read Ephesians. It is in the New Testament in the back of your Bible, and you'll find it. It's called Ephesians. It starts with an E, P-H. Read that, and you will understand what enough to put into practice. And then start there and keep reading every single day. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you have this information, it goes from you being lied to in your mind and feeling sad and depressed to you being in the place that God has created for us. You know what that place is? You know why it sounds so magnificent and how it rolled off my tongue so elegantly? Because it's a place that you want to be at. It's a place where God's presence fulfills you. And it's a place that we can all get to if we remind ourselves of the truth. And that's why I urge you every single day, where we read through what we're doing, where we go through this together, where we're paying enough attention, we're walking together to where we can access this stuff. You can access this stuff every day, anytime you want, 24/7. 24/7. You can access this stuff. And it's not just when you're in the Word. It's when you're at work. It's when you're on a run. It's when you're metal detecting, tumbling rocks, whatever you like to do. When you're at the beach, everywhere. And not only is this stuff going to help you, but you'll also start to be a helper to other people, and that's gonna bring more joy to you than you even know. Anyways, thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful, and see you on the next one.